we're getting messages from across the nation where employers are putting profits over lives. This is a true testament to what we're really dealing with. Gene asked if I'm happy with what's going on in Dallas. We're one of the few cities here in the state of Texas where our county judge has brought in the labor movement and put us at the table. You know what they say, if you're either at the table or on the menu. Our governor has put us on the menu, unfortunately.
The governor just put out a big edict overruling the Dallas County, and his consultation has all been with business. There's not been any consultation with labor at all, and very little with medical experts and scientists. But the Texas AFL-CIO just made a statement, and they said one of the things they said was that the safety equipment is not adequate, that everybody doesn't have all the safety equipment they need. Do you want to comment on that, Mark?
Yes, I do. That's another avenue that we're seeing blossom as this goes. And United Auto Workers, Ray Edmondson's on the call. He can testify to this too. A lot of them are being reactionary. And when it gets down to profit, they're putting it back on the backs of the employees to protect themselves at the cost of no cost to the company. Of course, they're using every argument in the world that we can't get PPE or it's not adequate. It's been quite a struggle, and this isn't just in Dallas. This is across the United States. Like I said, here in Dallas, we're fortunate enough to have Kim Grant with our Doctors Guild that has opened up the resources to provide to the union membership any needs that they have. It's unfortunate we have people out there that are gouging, keeping workers safe on prices, but it's the labor movement that's protecting the workers, not the employers in a lot of situations. And Gary was so right about Bell Helicopter. You know, the very basic fundamental of protecting your workers goes to the wayside. Corporate greed will always roll over, and Bell is a perfect example of that.
Another issue that's come up it's been brought up by the state Fed is paid sick leave, because you had paid sick leave in Dallas. The labor movement there had worked and won that, but what happened?
Yes, we at one time that ordinance would have covered 300,000 workers. That's 300,000 working families. But our governor came in and stopped it, our attorney general, because and at a time when we needed it most. The labor movement had seen stuff like this coming from a long time ago, not the pandemic, but the need to provide an opportunity for people to be able to stay home when they're sick. Once again, elections have consequences, and we're reaping that now more so than ever. And it's unfortunate that these companies, that we should have to have an ordinance asking you to protect your employees' lives. But unfortunately, that's the time we deal in.
Well, you had it, and apparently the state's been against it. So they have opened up the economy, and they're actually telling people to go to the movies. I just asked retirees to not go to the movies because they did this in consultation with a bunch of business people, and they don't even look at retirees because they don't think that we affect the economy. But 80% of the deaths so far have been retirees. So it's a really big issue for us. And some other issues, if the state were really ready to reopen, would they not have taken the federal money for Medicaid expansion? Because they could have a lot more people insured with Medicaid expansion, and they haven't done it. They have also opposed vote by mail, which would save a lot of lives from people that are going to be forced to vote in person or to staff the polls. Another issue is help for the undocumented, because they can have the virus too, and they can spread the virus too, but they don't get any help at all. So I'm going to open Gary and I'll ask Gary and Mark to comment on those issues, and then I'll open it up for questions and answers. Go ahead, Mark.
Well, you touched on a great thing. I'm not a big conspiracy theorist type person, but if you look at the numbers, I find it very coincidental that most of these people are 65 and older. And then you have Dan Patrick out here saying, let's sacrifice the old. Where else can you save the most amount of money without killing off the dead? And also, it's amazing. The Republicans will fight abortion, but throw our retirees under the bus. It's just absolutely amazing. But it's no coincidence. The vast majority of these people are over 65. What a better way to thin out the herd. Gary?
Gary, you want to comment?
Sorry, ditto. I ditto pretty much what Mark said. It's just we're all in a bind thanks to our fantastic governor who wants to sit up there and make it sound like everything's hunky-dory when we're still on the incline and he's opening up Texas. It's just unbelievable. It just blows my mind.
So there are a number of things that they could have done that have not been done before they told everybody it was okay to go to the movies. I'm going to unmute everybody, and don't be surprised if we get disruption. I'll be able to kick people out if they do disrupt us. And so if you have a question, or a comment, you now are unmuted.
I just want to say one thing. I read the Dallas Morning News every day, and the Dallas Morning News has not been kind to the Republican Party. Every once in a while, you will see a letter, but most of the time, the letters that are coming in to the editor are against Abbott, against Dan Patrick, and against Trump. So that to me is just exactly how fearful they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else got a question or comment?
Gene, I'd like to say, you that don't know me, I'm Judy Bryant. I'm the field organizer for Texas Alliance for Retired Americans, and Gene is our secretary, and we have a couple of members on here. When we did a campaign against Dan Patrick, who was suggesting that we put grandparents' lives above anything else, and that we would be willing to sacrifice our lives. We said, no, we wouldn't do that. And we weren't sacrificing our lives for the Dow or 401k. He actually said in an interview when we finished that he took a lot of heat for what he had said. We were part of it. But then just a week later, he was right back at making the same comments that he had made before. And so now, and we know that people's lives are being lost. We know that workers are being challenged by not having the protective gear. I just heard this morning from the Brother Kenneth Day and Albert Durla from the Amalgamated Union that represents DART. They don't have masks, they don't have protective gear, and they have to transport the public. So it's good that we're all it's sad that we're celebrating such a loss of life and a potential loss of life. And thank you for convening this Workers' Memorial Day.
Judy, you also are working on vote by mail, are you not, with Texas Alliance for Retired Americans?
Yes, we are. We have a campaign going, as do lots of other folks. But if you haven't had a chance to sign our petition, I'd appreciate it if you go to the Texas Alliance for Retired Americans, and it's spelled out like that Facebook page, and see the link and sign our petition. We're also working on a plan to educate folks about voting by mail. Our campaign is going to be called For the Seniors, Step Out of Line for Democracy. And we're going to try to get every senior that's entitled to sign up for a vote by mail ballot.
That's terrific. Anybody else have a comment or a question?
Yeah, this is Carolyn Burton. like to ask you, just like to ask Jean or Judy to please send that out in email so I can spread it all out through the state for Clue people.
Okay, Carolyn, I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else got a question or comment? At 11 o'clock, the steelworkers are going to do their commemoration on Facebook. It's United Steelworkers of America. And I assume that National AFL-CIO will have something before the day's over. So we're going to be able to wind up our meeting in time to go to the steelworkers commemoration if we want to. So I'll just ask one last time, anybody want to make a question or comment? I appreciate so much that Gary Livingston and Mark York have taken time from, I had to take Mark out of a national meeting in order for him to participate. So I appreciate everybody doing this, and it worked out great, and we'll be seeing you next time, I guess.
Hey, Gene,
Yes, sir.
Be safe, everyone.
before we
Yes,
go,
Stacy.
could we all do a moment of silence for the workers?
Yeah, I have a little share screen I'll put on. It's going to take about a minute. Starts with the American flag. I think you should be able to see it when I click on share.
It's come, there it is.
Yep,
Now's
there
our
it
moment
is.
of silence.
There it
There it
is.
is. Thank you. And if we can do a pledge to the flag, I would really like that.
All right,
Put the flag
you start it, Gary.
All right. I pledge
Allegiance to
to
the
the
flag
flag
of the United States of America
And to the
of
republic
which
which
stands
stands
one
one nation
under God,
under God, indivisible, with
for all.
liberty and justice
Justice
for all.
for all.
Comes out kind of garbled, doesn't it? That's
But at least we
from
all know we did it in our own.
This picture is from the transit workers. A lot of unions are putting their fallen members online.
Right.
That's what COVID is supposed to look like. And this is the AFL-CIO's program for reopening the economy. If you go through this thing and ask yourself, have these conditions been met?
Yeah.
Probably not. And Mark, you can comment on this slide if you're still there.
Yes, this is Valerie Brown. She had about 38 years with American Airlines. That's her husband, Gerald, on the right. He also had about 38 years with American Airlines. She was our first worker in Dallas that passed away. She worked on the flight line out there at American, and she passed away on her only child's 22nd birthday.
Wow.
Yeah, very difficult.
And this is the slogan for Workers' Memorial Day. It's a quote from Mother Jones: "Pray for the dead and fight like hell for the living."
Thanks, Jean, for presenting this.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you
Very much.
for being here. This is really great.
Good job, Jeannie. Good job.
And I'm ending the meeting.
All righty.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Be safe.
Bye.